you can see that now we have created a nice curve, a nice angle, and a nice design by using our material and stretching it over the piece that we created. And now you can see that's ready actually to put our fiberglass on and start fiberglassing. Once again, we're going to trim this right here. Okay, we're going to trim all this extra off. Now, I'm going to go ahead and repeat my process in these corners right here by adding some material and stretching it out over all of this, and then that will mold the corners in just like we did back here. Okay. We have now molded everything in place so we can start fiberglassing. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to remove this piece. So see, I need to do some trimming right here. Alright, we want to trim that down a little bit. And then once we do that, we're going to let all this glue dry. We're going to come back and we're going to start fiberglassing the front of our center console. That's not all we got to do to it, just to let you know. That's just the beginning, so we'll be back.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Okay, how y'all doing out there? Before we go any further on our center console fiberglass job, you might call it, I want to go ahead and do a shout out for another YouTuber out there, and I would call this guy the fiberglass king of YouTube. This guy is very amazing and does awesome work, okay? And he makes his own molds, and he also creates his own projects from scratch, and it's called Go Fast Fiberglass. Just to make sure, let's get the channel up and see. Okay, I take that back. His company is Go Fast Fiberglass, and his YouTube channel is Gasser Glass. Now, I want to tell you something about this guy. I don't remember what his name is. I think it's Randy Roach. This guy does amazing work, and if you are interested in how to make fiberglass molds or do some professional fiberglassing from scratch, I suggest that you watch this channel right here. He will take you through the steps just like our other buddy over there at Sprayway Customs, and give you some very, very high-tech and technical what can we say, helpful hints, tech tips of what to do, how to do it, and to actually make it right and do it right. So I would say that I think his name's Randy over there at Gasser Glass. I would call him the king of fiberglass on YouTube. And he doesn't really do a lot of what do we call custom interior parts, but he makes a lot of stuff out of fiberglass, and you can really learn a lot from watching his videos. And the reason we are on my iPhone looking at it on YouTube, because my fucking phone at my shop is fucking out, and I don't have no internet service either, and the phone company can go suck a big cock, and they can fuck off and die, because that's the corporation for you. And they said that my phone won't be fixed for several fucking days, even though I am a business. Now that I got that out, I feel a lot better. Randy Roach over at Gas or Glass. Check him out. Make sure you watch him. Fucking great guy. And shows you a lot of technical tips and helpful hints along the way of watching his videos of making molds from scratch. So if you got any questions or tech tips, contact Randy through Gas or Glass. And if that's not his name, I'm sorry. I believe that's his name, but I'm not really fucking sure. All I know is he's a kick-ass fiberglass King Kong fucking dude on YouTube, and you need to watch him. Also, one more time, I'd like to go ahead and say Sprayway Customs. If you're doing custom interior work like we're doing on here, watch him. I strongly suggest that you click on his channel and watch as many videos as you can of his, and he is going to show you some amazing stuff on doing custom interior parts for your custom classic fucking hot rod car or donk or whatever the fuck you're driving and you want to make parts for. That's the guy to check out. Let's get back to the video set and see where this nightmare is fucking leading. Alright, so now that we got all that done, or half-assed done anyway, we still got to recover it with our speaker material. I got the console inside the car because what I got to do is I got to make these panels that are going to cover the sides, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. I already got one of them in the car. One side is actually longer than the other side, so you'll see what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm cutting out right here, is the panels that actually go on the side of the console, and then I'm going to go ahead and hot glue those to the console as well. Now, I already made these panels earlier when I was actually doing something else, and what these panels are going to do, they're going to slide up inside here, and I see that I'm going to have to cut this off a little bit because I actually made this one a little longer, and you'll see that in a minute, but we want to go ahead and it's a little bit too long because when I was first doing this, I was going to have the console go in like this, but then we changed our mind to go ahead and do round like that. So this would have actually went in there and been straight across just like that. So we're going to go ahead and do it a different way now. And what we're going to do, I'm going to cut that off right there, and then that should follow this contour around the edge there. We can't put those side panels on yet because what happened is the fucking center console is up too high. And the reason that is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to show you all this right here, so if I go out like that and then I come back in, that's what. We actually have to cut, this section here has to be cut around for the console to drop back down. Because this piece right here is supposed to be sitting on top of that, if that makes any fucking sense. So we can't put these panels in yet because our center console is way up too high. We have to get our center console down, so what I'm going to have to do is actually cut this here, cut this round part here. It's a fucking situation, is what the fuck it is. What the deal is we're going to have to cut this around. It's going to have to come around to fit this contour right here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and pull that console out and rig it up so we can drop that down somehow. What you're looking at is our center console we've been working on for the last several days off and on. And we went through some trials and tribulations on that center console, but we got everything worked out. We're in the process now of starting to fiberglass the center console. And let me go over this little section here. Now, I'm just going to go over it real quick what I did. Let me turn this up because we got our panels made. And what I did, I took speaker material, I took some speaker fabric and I stretched it on there and it molded it all together. Now I like to use speaker material versus other material because it's very thin and it stretches to a high quality stretch and it gives a much better fit and snug appearance and actually gives you less work to deal with. So that's what we did here. I went ahead and glued all the front and then I pulled it and stretched it over. And this is what we have. So before I do anything, now one more thing I want to go over, and that is this piece right here, which is our foam. This is our styrofoam. When you're working with styrofoam, you want to make sure that you use styrofoam. All right, you want to make sure that you use the styrofoam that is fiberglass resistant. If you don't use that type of styrofoam, then what you want to do, they sell a compound that you mix with water and you brush it onto the styrofoam and it makes it a very hard substance. And the resin that I'm using is not high-tech, fancy resin. There is higher quality resins than what I'm using on this, but you know, and I usually use the higher quality resin because believe me, there is a difference when you use that. If you get the higher quality resin that costs more money, you're going to get a nice, more accurate professional job than using this brand here, which we bought at our local convenient, I might say, large corporation cocksucker fuck you in your ass hardware store. So the only thing that I'm really concerned about at this time is getting a pair of pliers so I can open the fucking can. And then once we've accomplished that, now we can get on with the program here. So before I go ahead and start adding my mat and doing that, what I want to do is I want to mix up just a little bit of fiberglass resin only. And we're only going to mix up enough just to actually paint this because we want to take our material and we want to make it hard. So I go ahead and I add the equivalent hardener that it will take. And I will tell you about fiberglass because I have done this for a long time. And it depends on the weather of how much hardener you're going to put in it. There's directions on here how to use it, this, that, and the other. But when you're using fiberglass resin, you're going to also understand that if you go by this directional sheet and it's only 40 degrees outside, it's going to take 10 times longer to dry. If it's 85, 95, 100 degrees outside and you go by this, it's going to dry real super quick. So you got to play with it and adjust it to your situation of what the weather is. That's how it works. It's just like Bondo. So we're going to take a throwaway brush just like you see right there. This is a 2-inch. I also have 1-inch brushes for later usage. And then we're going to mix our resin up. And once again, all I'm doing is using resin. I'm not using any fiberglass mat. And all I'm going to do is brush the resin onto the speaker material. I'm not worried about being sloppy or neat right now because I want that to soak into the material. So now what we'll do is we will let that sit and dry, and once that dries it will be a nice hard finish, and when we come back we're going to start prepping our center console up for fiberglassing and finishing out.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.